stay with us. We want to bring into the conversation senior reporter at Vanity Fair and an NBC News and MSNBC contributor, Emily Jane Fox. She has new reporting on how taped conversations from Michael Cohen have led to the Southern District of New York's investigation into President Trump's inauguration. Emily, good morning. Always good to see you.
Nice to see you.
So we learned earlier this week that the Southern District has subpoenaed records from the Trump Inaugural Committee as it looks into how the money was raised and how the money was spent, $107 million for that inauguration. What's the connection here to Michael Cohen and his taped conversations?
So we knew that when the FBI searched and seized information from Cohen's apartments and hotel room in April that there were recordings seized. We knew that some of those recordings were conversations with Michael Cohen and a woman named Stephanie Winston Welkoff. Ms. Welkoff is a dear friend of Melania Trump's. She was head of planning the inauguration, in charge of planning 18 events and doing so on a 6-week timetable. And she also joined the First Lady in helping set up the East Wing and worked there for a year. So this is someone who's very close to the First Lady, very close to the Trump family. And on these recordings, in my reporting, I understand that it was Welkoff detailing all of the concerns she had throughout that 6-week planning of the inauguration. And some of her concerns included how the Trump organization was profiting off of the inauguration, the very close involvement of Trump's adult children in that planning, and general fiscal questions and potential mismanagement by Tom Barrack, who was the chairman of the inaugural committee, and Rick Gates, who, as we now know, was cooperating with
Michael Cohen surreptitiously records phone calls with Ms. Welkoff Winston.
Sure.
And those tapes are provided, or seized actually, by the Southern District, and they're listening to these, and now that raises the question: what was going on at this inaugural?
It raises the alarm bells, and now we know this week that there were subpoenas issued to the inaugural committee. And here's why I think this is so damaging, and why all the investigations in the Southern District could be so damaging to the president for years to come. But in this investigation in particular, it involves the Trump family. It involves the Trump organization profiting off of his new position, and it involves the early stages of the administration. So this is something that ties into all of the soft spots that the president cares about, and I don't think it's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, to Emily's point, I want to throw out the term RICO, which is Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organizations Act, which was introduced basically for mob bosses that basically said, okay, if somebody in your organization kills, we can pin it on you. I believe where this ends up is the Southern District RICOing the Trump organization, which brings in everything from the charity to even Trump University. You can bring back cases that have even been settled civilly, to money laundering. And you will see, I believe, and what you can also do in RICO, you can seize assets. And I think from here on in, till the day Donald Trump dies, and until those children or wherever they go, they will be picking apart this organization, because what they want to make an example of is this president who showed up and tried to undo 250 years of what our grandfathers fought for. And this organization will eventually be RICO'd, and they will take the entire thing down. This is just the beginning.
Betsy, when we found out that all these tapes had been seized, all these documents had been seized from Michael Cohen's office and Michael Cohen's apartment, everyone said, my God, can you imagine what's in all those tapes? He knows where all the bodies are buried for the last 30 years or whatever the number is. This could just be one piece to a large, large trove that the Southern District is looking through.
Undoubtedly, and it's also something that Chairman Nadler is quite curious about. He sent a letter to Matt Whitaker on January 22nd listing some of what he wanted to ask him about his conversations with President Trump. And one of those questions is, did Trump lash out at Matt Whitaker after Southern District of New York prosecutors revealed really damaging information about the president himself in filings that came very late last year related to their investigation of Michael Cohen? So I fully anticipate that when Whitaker is in front of the House Judiciary Committee today, this exact question: how is Trump responding to the Southern District's investigation, and is he trying to hobble it in any way, or is he trying to push his emissary in the Justice Department, Whitaker himself, to hobble it? I expect that to come up, and it's possible that that's one of the issues where Whitaker may consider invoking executive privilege.
So, Emily, Michael Cohen's testimony before a number of panels up on Capitol Hill has been delayed and postponed. Are we ever going to hear from him if he sits in that room? Will he ever say anything? Will he take the fifth? What do you think we'll see in either an open or a closed forum before these committees?
He had been planning for an open forum. He had been working on a statement that he wanted to give. I think that there's so much about this timing that is up in the air, and we are on such a short timetable. He is set to report to prison in less than a month.
Yeah.
There are a number of committees who are very interested in having him appear, including one at least in public. But the dates are all up in the air. I think we're all eagerly waiting this, and I think he's eagerly waiting it as well.
But we will hear from him, you think?
He really wants to speak in front of Congress. I believe that will happen. It's amazing how these committees are kind of jockeying against each other, and he's kind of just trying to figure the whole thing out.
Emily Jane Fox, great reporting as always. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Betsy Woodruff, same to you. Thanks for being here this morning. Still ahead, the political crisis in Virginia growing for Democrats, and now for at least one Republican, too. It just keeps getting worse in Virginia. Morning Joe's coming right back.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.